Hi everybody. Okay, this video is gonna be a little different. So, I hope you guys like my hat too. It's very funny, very fun. Anyway, this video is gonna be about how making small changes in your life can vastly improve it and make it much better, really, in the short term and in the long term. I'd say there was a long period of my life where I was very closed off. Outwardly, I was like really giving and extroverted and like zany, and that's fine. And I enjoy that a lot still. But I spent so much time kind of expressing these sorts of emotions and stuff like that without ever really changing anything about it or thinking about it. There was actually a lot of chaos in my life for a lot of those years, but that wasn't inward, it was outward, and it was like my chaos was a reflection of that, and it helped me get through a lot of tough times. But it also kept me very closed off despite appearances from everyone, whether it be, my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, my best friends, my enemies, coworkers, whatever. Anyone who was around me never really never really knew me completely. And that was because in some ways I didn't really let them in. So the reason I bring that up is because I was really locked in to this sort of this mindset that sorry, I was distracted. I was locked into this mindset that I had to be strong and I had to be tough and I had to continue on no matter what. And that is a good mindset for certain times. But it can really take away from a lot of the great things in life that are just about being experienced and just being a vulnerable human being. Okay? So it was hard for me to be that sort of vulnerable human being, and it's still difficult for me, honestly. But I've done a lot of work, and I'm really proud of myself. And so I'm running around in circles here, I feel like. Okay, but anyway, so eventually, yeah, that was a very closed off time, and my mind was like razor wire. It was tight. It was sharp, and nothing could really get through, and that was good. But doing that all the time, I slowly learned that wasn't okay. That was damaging even. So the reason I'm telling you this is because when I get emotional, it's like I lose my words more often. But it's because slowly and surely, now at the age of 27, I started to learn these small things as I went. I started to listen to people, to open up. And it was difficult, and I had a hard head, and I had to learn the hard way. You know what I mean? I did a lot of stupid things, nothing terrible, you know what I mean? Nothing really even worth telling stories about, in my opinion, right off the top. But I mean, I learned to begin to make these small changes, these small differences in myself and in my thinking and in how I lived. Small differences that just made everything better, made everything 10 times more rich and more vibrant. Because I was also very judgmental, I think, at that time. Again, as like a defense mechanism. So now I probably come across as more judgmental, but I'm actually less judgmental. I'm just being more open about my thought process, so you can kind of see the remnants and the kind of mechanisms that I used to operate under. But like I was saying, I slowly learned to try different things that were genuinely different to me, not just like looking different. Like this hat, this is nothing. This doesn't really mean anything. This stuff right here, this means something to me, and that's the thing right here. All this shit, it means something to me, and that was really difficult for me to do something and access something that meant something to me, because what like stuff that meant something to me, I could not change it. I was not, I couldn't afford to. You know what I mean? I couldn't afford to back down. So. I learned, and I don't know necessarily whose fault that is, you know, God, Satan, myself, you know, my family. You can point blame a lot of places, and I'm sure it comes from a lot of places, but that's not really what I'm here to do. I'm just here to say that, yeah, I was struggling for a long time, and now, because of these different, better things I did, I really improved my life. So here's the real thing. So what I want people to kind of do, if you feel like how I felt, where you felt very closed off, and you felt like, or if just in general you feel like your life isn't where you want it to be. So this is some good advice, I believe. Start not looking for perfect, not looking for the most amazing thing ever, or even just how like good. You know what I mean? Like you might think, if I do this thing, then it won't be good enough, or it will be bad because of this reason. And you'll come up with different reasons of why you can't have it, and those reasons are valid. But what I want you to do is to to say, okay, so there are those bad things. Is it something I can get through? Like, is it something that I can get around? Is it something that I can accept, essentially? And so if you can't accept it, then yeah, you're gonna try to find a way to cut it out of the equation. Say, okay, well, like let's say it's a job. Okay, if I work for someone else, will it be different? Will they be you know, more sympathetic to the way I want to do things and the way that I believe is right or wrong, or whatever your problem is, or make sure it's enough money or whatnot. So you start asking those questions. If the answer is maybe, then you can go for it, and then if it turns into a no, you leave. If it turns into a yes, that's great. But let's say that the other areas aren't, like, there aren't any people who are sympathetic to what you're trying to achieve, to what you're trying to experience. You know what I mean? And let's try to actually put this concrete so it'll be easier to follow. So, like, yeah, let's say you want to be a singer, okay? I know a lot of people want to be singers. You know, it's a great thing. If I could be a singer, maybe I would. But I kind of have a lot going on right now. So, you know, maybe we'll see, though. So, let's say, you know, you're like 18 years old, you want to be a singer. You know how hard it is. You know that, like, that only a few people get really big, and that's what you want to do. You know, you want to, like, be a famous singer and, like, on top of the world, whatever, performing all around the world. So, you have to accept that, yes, it could happen overnight, and it usually does. But before that happens, there are a lot of steps that are taken, and it's not about planning or anything like that. It's just about a mindset where you say, okay, how can I get to where I want to go? So you want to be a singer. Well, you can't just jump on the stage. But if you get the shot, let me tell you this, if you get the shot, take the shot. You know what I mean? So that is also very important. You do need to take risks sometimes. You need to you got to put yourself out there. But, you know, you're a young kid, you want to be a singer. So let's say there's bars that hire singers. So you want to apply to a bar, but you don't like it because the pay isn't good enough. Okay, so you talk to the you know, you look at it. So first you're gonna say, all right, is singing at the bar something I want to do? So you got to think about that. And if the answer is no, let's say your answer is no, and it's because the pay isn't good enough. So what you got to do, or you might also think of other things like the pay isn't good enough. No, like people, like not no big people go there, stuff like that. So those are cons that you need to think about those, but you want to think about how to eliminate them, and also the pros that go with it. So, you know, pro number one, you're singing, you're performing in front of people, another pro, which is very important. And you're also, like, continually doing something. You're continuing to build on it, because When you stagnate, that's when things can get really bad. That's when you can lose talent. You could be talented enough to be a singer with the right growth and stuff like that, but you won't get there if you aren't willing to if you aren't willing to continue to grow. And also, this is the most important thing, be flexible. Okay, so you don't want to work at this place because you don't like the pay, and you feel like it's not real. It's not really singing. You're not on a stage, there's no manager, shit like that, so it's not real. What you're going to want to do next, this is the important part, is you make small differences to make your situation better. So you say, okay, how can I position myself? What can I say? What can I do to get more like a real singer? Because you're just not going to become a real singer like this. It's not going to happen. You need to start making those small changes to put yourself in the position so that when you have the chance to take that jump from where you are now to where you're going, you can do it. Because I've made a lot of those jumps, and I've just made them without a lot of the kind of step-by-step stuff. But it's the worst, hardest way. And the imposter syndrome, which is when you feel like you don't really deserve any success you have, sets in even harder when you don't do a little bit every day, because that also reaffirms you. It reaffirms your identity. Being a singer becomes a part of your identity, opposed to just something you're saying, something you're thinking, something you're feeling. So you're internalizing it, you're doing it, and that's amazing. So that's what you want to do. So you go to this bar or whatever. The guy doesn't want to give you he doesn't want to give you enough money, and it's like in a shitty part of town or something. So I'm saying what you want to do is you want to go to that place. Whether it's not about what I'm saying, okay? It's not about exactly what I'm saying. It's about the spirit of what I'm saying, okay? So understand that. So for me, I would talk to the guy, see if I could get more money, see if I could set up some way, some system where I could make more money. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't know, maybe you could wait a few tables or something, and then the bar, the owner could allow you to get an hourly wage or something if he thought you were good enough or whatever. Or there's a few different things. That's not that great of an idea, but the point is you're starting to think of ideas of mobility, upward mobility, and it's not necessarily about getting more money in this case. It kind of is, but I'm saying if that's not your thing, that's not the point. It's about moving yourself to a different location that may not be ideal, but is better. And you do that until you can just kind of climb up to where you're going. So the two things again were that you didn't have enough money, so you talk to the guy, try to get money, and then let's say he agrees, says, okay, fine, you can work you can work a few hours, and I'll pay you for the hours you're performing too, with the serving stuff on top. You know what I mean? If you just get a few tables or something. So let's say he says that's fine. And then also, I don't think all bar owners have to be guys either. That's just, I don't know. It's just easier, I guess, to say it's a dude. Anyway, habit, I guess. Anyway, so you do that. And now your next problem is that it's not real, okay? So the fact that it doesn't reach a large audience, there's no managers, no anything like that. So what you would do in this case, you can say, all right, well, what if, we live in the 21st century. What if I record myself live and then post it to my Facebook page or stuff like that, and then afterwards I can take all this footage and then put it in a folder or something like that, and people can go online. I'll have a blog or something like that. People will go online. This is a lot of steps, so you wouldn't do all this at once, but I'll have a blog. People will go online and say, oh, I want to see this person's music. They can see it. Everyone in the world can now see your music, and that will definitely help you, get yourself to your goal of becoming a real professional singer, like a celebrity. So yeah, and then, okay, so let's just say that none of this stuff works, because that happens, and all this shit falls by the wayside. You have to pick up your shit, you know what I mean? And you keep going, you look somewhere else. Okay, so this guy doesn't work, let's try somewhere else. Or you might say, you know what, I will work at a job that is not singing, but make sure I keep enough time and energy for myself to do this stuff. And you can still do the live singing and stuff like that. And then networking is also important. You can do that. And again, with the internet, we have so many options for that. But I think you see where I'm going with this. You know what I mean? I think you get it. So anyway, that is something that has drastically improved my life. Again, I'm not going to say that my life is perfect or anything. It's very far from it, but I can see, I can see it even in myself. Like just when I look at myself in the mirror, I feel a little better about myself because I am being a little more flexible and willing to be vulnerable, put myself out there and try different things and try things that aren't really what I want, not be too picky, but they're a little bit different and a little bit better. Those are the two keys right there. Different, better. That's it. I'm going to leave you with that, but peace.